Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're here. If you're watching this, you're probably moving to the beautiful Granite State, or maybe you just unpacked that last box. Moving is amazing, right? But dealing with the DMV, yeah, that usually requires an extra cup of coffee and a whole lot of patience. Well, today, we're going to completely remove that stress. We are breaking down exactly how to transfer your out-of-state driver's license to New Hampshire smoothly, correctly, and without having to wait in line twice. Let's get into it.
Okay, picture this. You finally finished moving. You're completely exhausted, literally navigating a sea of cardboard boxes, and the absolute last thing on your mind is government paperwork. I get it. But here is the hard truth that catches so many new residents off guard. There's a strict legal deadline hovering over your head the second you establish residency in New Hampshire. If you let that slip, your next quick drive to the grocery store could technically be illegal. No way we're letting that happen to you.
So, what's the magic number? It's 60. As a new resident, you have exactly 60 days to transfer your out-of-state driver's license and register your vehicle. The state gives you this 2-month grace period to get your affairs in order. But after that, your old license just doesn't cut it anymore on New Hampshire roads.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We're going to cover 1. The 60-day deadline, 2. Gathering required documents, 3. The step-by-step process, 4. Fees and timelines, 5. Exceptions and special cases, and finally 6. Pro tips for success.
Starting off with Section 1, the 60-day deadline, the procedural countdown.
Now, the clock doesn't start when you feel fully unpacked, unfortunately. It starts the moment you officially establish your residency. Looking at the law, specifically RSA 263/1, this defines the 60-day statutory mandate. Missing this deadline isn't just a slap on the wrist. It can actually leave you driving illegally, which is classified as a misdemeanor. If you get pulled over on day 65 with your old out-of-state license, you're in violation of state law. But don't worry, the whole goal of this explainer is to be your ultimate solution so you can completely avoid that penalty.
Moving right along to Section 2, gathering required documents. And remember, no photocopies allowed.
Being underprepared with your paperwork is literally the #1 reason people get turned away at the DMV. It's so frustrating, but also entirely preventable. Here's your essential document checklist directly from the DMV. First, you need your current, valid out-of-state driver's license. Second, proof of identity, like a valid U.S. passport or a certified birth certificate. Third, proof of your social security number, like your actual SSN card or a W-2 form. And finally, proof of New Hampshire residency. Now, this is absolutely crucial. All of these documents must be originals or certified copies. A photocopy of your birth certificate will guarantee a rejected application for sure. Now, what's really interesting here is a major choice you have to make right off the bat, which is between a real ID and a standard license. This choice completely dictates your paperwork. A real ID requires 2 proofs of residency, like a lease agreement and a utility bill, and it allows you to board domestic commercial flights and enter secure federal buildings. A standard license only requires 1 proof of residency, but it will literally have "not for federal identification" printed right on it.
All right, Section 3, the step-by-step process, from the town clerk to the DMV. I promise you a foolproof line, and here it is. Navigating New Hampshire's system is a bit unique because it involves 2 different levels of local government. So here's the chronological flow, and please pay close attention to Step 1. This is a massive pitfall. You must go to your local municipal town clerk to register your vehicle before you go to the DMV for your driver's license. Why? Because that town registration document actually serves as an airtight proof of residency for the DMV. So Step 1, town clerk. Step 2, book your DMV appointment online through the official state portal because walk-ins are pretty tough. Step 3, go to the DMV and submit your application, which is Form DSMV 450. And Step 4, you got to officially relinquish your old out-of-state license. Unfortunately, you can't keep it as a souvenir. While you're at the DMV, you'll also need to pass a vision screening. Because you're transferring an active license, you're actually exempt from the written and road tests. But everyone takes the vision test. You've got to be able to read the 20/40 vision line with both eyes together and with each eye separately. If you wear glasses or contacts to pass, hey, that's perfectly fine, but it will be noted as a restriction on your new license.
Next up, Section 4, fees and timelines, what it costs and when it arrives. So the crucial point here is budgeting properly for your visit. A standard New Hampshire license is going to run you $50. If you opt for the real ID, it's $60. And if you're under 21, you'll get a youth operator license for just $10. As a quick side note, while you're doing your vehicle registration at the town clerk, keep in mind that state statutory fee increases for vehicle registrations are scheduled to hit on January 1, 2026. So if you're moving soon, it definitely pays to get this done early. And don't worry, you won't leave the DMV empty-handed. On day 1, they take your old license and hand you a temporary paper license that's fully valid for 60 days. Then, usually somewhere between day 45 and day 60, your permanent, hard plastic license will arrive securely right in your mailbox.
Section 5. Exceptions and Special Cases, covering minors, expired licenses, and non-citizens. Okay, so everything we just covered applies to a standard, unexpired transfer for an adult U.S. citizen. But obviously, not everyone's situation fits perfectly into that mold. Here's a major warning, though. If your out-of-state license has been expired for more than 1 year, you lose the golden ticket. The testing exemption is completely voided. You'll essentially be treated as a brand new driver, which means you have to start from scratch. You're going to need to take the 40-question written knowledge exam and schedule a practical behind-the-wheel road test. If this is you, be sure to utilize the official state driver's manual and online practice test to prepare.
Let's look at a few other specific hurdles. Minors under 18 can't just transfer. They actually have to meet New Hampshire's specific driver's ed requirements. Non-U.S. citizens have a unique process too, and currently they must process their initial applications at the main Concord DMV office. The exact same goes if you're transferring a commercial driver's license, or CDL, which carries its own specific federal medical requirements. Finally, if you physically lost your out-of-state license during the move, you can't just show up. You have to get Form DSMV-90, which is a formal verification filled out by your previous state before New Hampshire will even process your transfer.
Let's move to our final section, Section 6, Pro Tips for Success and How to Avoid the Red Flags. We really want to consolidate all this expert advice so you can absolutely guarantee a smooth transition and avoid those dreaded red flags. Now, this is a massive red flag for anyone who has changed their name due to marriage or divorce. You absolutely must bring certified documents proving your unbroken legal name chain. It's like a giant puzzle. If your birth certificate says one name and your current license says another, you need the marriage certificate that connects them. The source material warns us crystal clearly on this. A single missing gap results in an immediate rejection. Bring the paper trail, guys.
To quickly summarize our absolute must-dos, visit your municipal town clerk first to register your car. Bring only original or certified documents to the DMV. Fix your name change with legal proof, and act quickly before that 60-day deadline expires. If you follow these 4 steps, you are going to breeze right through the DMV.
Now, as with anything government-related, we do have to include a quick future-proofing disclaimer here. Regulations, required documents, and fees can and do change. While this explainer is highly comprehensive right now, always verify current details directly with official New Hampshire DMV resources. Their website is fantastic and updated regularly.
And that brings us to the end of our roadmap. The 60-day clock is officially ticking. So, are your original documents ready for the town clerk? Seriously, don't put this off. Gather those birth certificates, find your lease, and book that appointment today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and safe driving out there in the Granite State.